Hello, everybody. Welcome to the 5 Minutes PM podcast. Today, I'd like to discuss with you something that happened with me last week. For the first time for me in my professional life, I was in a hospital, not as a patient, but as a consultant. As a consultant to explain and to understand how project management can make the difference also in this field. It was my first time. I went to the Hospital Albert Einstein in São Paulo, Brazil, and it's one of the most preeminent hospitals here in Brazil with about 5,600 employees, 500 beds, 6,000 doctors, 2.1 million exams, almost 200 transplants, and about 95% of those using the Brazilian public healthcare. So it's really a very powerful institution, and it's great also to see their leadership doing project management. So I'm very used to see people applying project management in construction, in energy, to prepare a new power plant, a hydroelectrical power plant, or a software development. It's very easy, or the military area, so defense, acquisition, this related to army and armed forces. But it was my first time since I started working with project management that I was looking project management in the healthcare, and not to develop and produce new medicine, but to run a business, to run a hospital. And in this example of Albert Einstein, we are talking about 300 million reais. It's about a little bit less of 200 million US dollars per year in a portfolio that covers projects like construction, like new buildings, like new flexible beds that can handle intensive care patients and also daily patients. So it's so interesting to see this, to see how broad we can apply our profession and how broad we can help not only companies but our society to do something different and also to do something better. It's so interesting. And I did a presentation for about 200 people. And among these 200 people, I saw many doctors, many people working in the healthcare, and not only engineers and people doing in a more traditional project management. So this was for me like a gift to open my eyes to see in a more broad perspective of opportunities to apply project management. As I said in many other podcasts, we need to understand that project management is a driver to success, is a driver in this changing world. We need to prepare ourselves better and better for change and to handle with innovation, with also planning, be prepared to do something different, to find a new road, something different to do this. And this was for me really a pleasure. And I'd like to congratulate Albert Einstein, and not only Albert Einstein, but all the listeners that are listening this podcast, and see how we can see value and how we can apply project management in completely different perspective, like I saw in Albert Einstein last week. Imagine this. Lawyers can use that. Politicians can use that. When we are doing a campaign, a political campaign, like last year with President Obama election, and this year here in Brazil with the presidential election. So we see many opportunities to make things different and open our mind. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. Enjoy your week, think differently, and let's make the difference. Bye-bye. See you next week.